She didn't just take the throne, she took out anyone who got in her way. Her husband, eliminated. Her rivals, silenced. Her favorite punishment, public humiliation followed by death. Catherine the Great didn't become an empress by playing nice. She played deadly, and she played to win. Forget the enlightened monarch image. This was a woman who used diplomacy like a dagger and ruled with the cold precision of a guillotine. In this episode, we're counting down the coldest, most ruthless power moves in imperial history. Because when Catherine made a threat, it wasn't a warning, it was a promise. 10 times Catherine the Great showed no mercy. 1. She had her own husband removed. Before she was empress, Catherine was stuck in a miserable marriage to Peter III, an awkward, volatile man, more obsessed with toy soldiers than real ones. When the time came to seize the throne, Catherine didn't just divorce him, she orchestrated a full-blown coup. Within days of Peter's forced abdication, he mysteriously died while in custody. Official cause? Hemorrhoidal colic. Unofficial cause? Probably murder. Catherine's response? A public funeral and zero remorse. 2. She took down the church without blinking. Catherine wasn't about to share power with anyone, not even God's representatives on earth. In one of her most ruthless moves, she seized control of the Orthodox Church's vast landholdings and nationalized church wealth. She effectively turned clergy into state employees. Translation? Pray all you want, but your paycheck comes from me now. And if you disagreed, hope you like exile. 3. She erased her rivals from history. Catherine didn't just defeat her enemies, she deleted them. Noble families that backed the wrong side during her rise to power found themselves stripped of titles, lands, and legacy. Records were rewritten, names disappeared. If you opposed Catherine, it wasn't just your life at risk, it was your memory. 4. She crushed the Pugachev rebellion without mercy. When the peasant rebellion led by Yemelyan Pugachev erupted, Catherine responded with overwhelming force. She didn't negotiate. She didn't consider reform. She sent armies. Thousands were executed. Villages were razed. Pugachev himself was publicly beheaded and dismembered. Catherine called it justice. Everyone else called it a message. 5. She weaponized Enlightenment ideas against her enemies. Catherine flirted with Enlightenment philosophy, but only when it served her power. She corresponded with Voltaire and Diderot, praised liberty and reason, then cracked down on dissent with brutal censorship. If a writer got too bold, they were arrested or exiled. Catherine used progressive ideas as a velvet glove over an iron fist. 6. She annihilated the Crimean Khanate. Catherine didn't just defeat the Crimean Tatars, she obliterated their independence. After years of manipulation, war, and betrayal, she annexed Crimea into the Russian Empire in 1783. The move shattered a centuries-old Islamic power. Her enemies called it aggression. She called it destiny. 7. She sent her own son into political exile. Catherine didn't trust her son, Paul. She thought he was unstable, weak, and worse, influenced by his father's memory. So she quietly cut him out of major decisions and surrounded him with spies. By the time of her death, she was reportedly planning to bypass him in the line of succession entirely. That didn't pan out, but the message was clear. Even blood couldn't shield you from Catherine's distrust. 8. She personally picked the next king of Poland, then destroyed his country. Catherine chose Stanisław Poniatowski, her ex-lover, as the new Polish king. But being Catherine's favorite didn't mean being safe. She used him as a puppet, forced brutal reforms, and when Poland started asserting independence, she crushed it with military force. The result? Poland was partitioned out of existence. 9. She had a secret police that made people disappear. Catherine's secret police didn't just arrest dissidents, they erased them. Political opponents were surveilled, blackmailed, imprisoned, or quietly eliminated. Public trials were rare. Fear was constant. If you spoke too loudly or published too boldly, you could vanish without a trace. 10. She made sure her own legacy was unquestioned. Before her death, Catherine carefully curated her image. Letters burned, journals destroyed, portraits commissioned. She wanted to be remembered as enlightened, powerful, merciful. But the truth is sharper. She ruled with strategy, steel, and zero tolerance for weakness. She didn't just make history, she crushed anyone who tried to rewrite it. So the next time someone tells you Catherine the Great was just a patron of the arts, remind them she also played empire like a blood-soaked chess game, and she didn't believe in draws. This wasn't the tale of a noble monarch sipping tea in Versailles gowns. This was a woman who wore the crown like a blade, who signed death warrants between love letters, who rewrote the rules of power, mercy be damned. Because history isn't written by the victors, it's written by the survivors, and Catherine made sure there weren't many of those left standing. If you're still breathing after that one, go hit subscribe, because we're just getting started with the legends who didn't just change history, they crushed it. This is Hidden History Dork, where the past has a body count.